Welcome back to Copper Star Precision, the channel dedicated to getting you more points at your competitive shooting matches. We're back here with Jay at Airguns and Optics. And yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about a new gun because you can't have enough air guns, and the number of air guns you need is always one more than the number that you have. And we learned a lot of lessons from EBR last year. So EBR is Extreme Bench Rest. It was a competition. Basically, Jay set me up with a killer Panthera about a month before the event. Didn't know what I was doing with air guns. Took it to the event, took second in the PRS match, took second in the field target match.
Tied for first.
Yeah, but, you know, semantics. Lost on the tiebreaker stage on that PRS stage. But yeah, so didn't know what I was doing, and I kind of was like, oh, let's just go balls to the wall. And so I entered into the one gun challenge, which was using the same gun for everything. Well, the problem with that was you basically were limited to 22 caliber because you had to compete. There were certain events that you had to compete, and 22 was the max caliber you could use, like the 50-yard bench rest. And a lot of the events, everything basically except for the PRS match, you had to use pellets. And the PRS match, I was using slugs. And while the Panthera and most FX guns are really easily tunable, just going back and forth between pellets and slugs, it's really hard to get things dialed in. Mm-hmm. And you notice that the people that were there that were doing well, you almost have to have a dedicated air rifle for each kind of event. Maybe one can do double duty, but you really need, you know, the way these competition rifles are set up, I mean, if you're plinking in the backyard, that's one thing, but as you know, with the NRL 22 and PRS rimfire rifles, they're pretty much dedicated competition rifles. And so FX has come out with a new rifle, and I just had to pick one up because it comes in copper color. So you know they had me sold there. So I'm picking up a Impact M4 in copper, of course. Now this is stock out of the box, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff with this that I'm going to document on this channel to get it ready for that competition setup. But this is in 30 cal. And because we have to use pellets, you know, going a little larger caliber, definitely going to help you with those higher grain weights, be able to buck the wind, all that kind of stuff. But what's really impressive about this is the modularity of this platform. I mean, barrel swaps, you did a barrel swap in front of me. It took you like less than 2 minutes to swap both the probe and the barrel. And you were talking through the whole time. So I mean,
the first time it might take 10 minutes. The second time, 5 minutes, 3 minutes tops.
Yeah, and obviously the M4, being the fourth generation of this platform, the Impact platform on FX, has quite a bit of aftermarket support, so you can really customize this to your heart's content. Obviously some major upgrades in the M4 in terms of stability, rigidity, and all that kind of stuff. They've eliminated the first regulator, so we're down to only one regulator. And yeah, we'll be going through details of this rifle in future videos, but I think this is going to be both the 100-yard bench rest gun and the speed gun, because this is a quick gun, even in its stock formation. I mean, it's pretty quick cycling the bolt. Good high capacity magazines. I think it's like 20, 21?
28 and 22, probably close to 21 and 30 caliber.
Yeah. So, but again, we're gonna have to get this competition ready. It's great out of the box, but we're gonna put a lot of weight on this, probably new rails, Arca rail on the bottom, get all our accessories attached, and really tune this up for accuracy at 100 yards, and then for speed challenge. And then of course I'll take my Panthera, we're going up to RMAC, and I'll use my Panthera for the PRS match, because that's kind of the dedicated PRS setup. Jay's got his up here, set up with all the weights, and it's got the higher fill bottle on here from Air Marksman. Nicely balanced right on there. It's got the same grip I do. I've got a little bit more going on. I've got my doodads and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, these rifles, this and the DRS are probably the go-to for those PRS NRL 22 style matches. So if you're thinking about getting into airgun NRL 22, that's definitely the way I would go. Here's a DRS that Jay's also been tuning up.
I don't think it has enough weight. No, it does.
And this is in a Sabre tactical chassis, so it's not the MDT chassis that usually comes with it. So there's lots of aftermarket support for these guns, even though this one's only been on the market for a year and a half or so.
Yep.
But you just actually put together another M4 for a customer.
I did.
So the M4, again, being a versatile platform, I'm going to build it out for a competition rig, but a lot of people are using it for backyard guns, and that's kind of what this is here. Do you want to talk about what you did for this customer? Same M4, just completely different setup for different purposes.
Got that? So the customer wants to eliminate pests. He's got chicken coops, and he's got small children, so he doesn't want coyotes, he doesn't want pigeons, he doesn't want rodents getting into his chicken coops and killing his chickens, especially with the price of eggs these days. So, he wants something quiet. He wants to be able to shoot during the day and at night. And he wanted something super accurate. And this gun, after tuning it today, puts 10 pellets through the same hole at 20 or 25 yards. And that's about the distance he's going to be shooting. Plus, he wanted something that if he did decide to go to one of the local matches or go check it out or just go to the range, he could do that with it too. So very capable gun for backyard, very capable gun for a speed silhouette, a silhouette match, very capable for bench rest matches, and everything in between. You could shoot a PRS match with one of these guns if you wanted to.
Yeah, even pellets, not even going with slugs.
Yep.
Pellets, probably a higher caliber, but inside 100 yards, you're still pretty much there.
Yep.
Once you get past 100 yards, things get a little iffy. Slugs will be the way to go in terms of ballistic coefficient, bucking the wind, all that kind of stuff. But this one's in 22 cal, and this is a very unique scope. You want to talk about what the heck's going on there?
So I don't know a whole lot about the scope. He provided the scope, but from what I've seen, I like it. It was very easy to set up. Once I realized it was both day and night capable, I really enjoyed it. So it's almost like looking through a camera during the day or a digital camera. You're looking at a screen here and there's a camera up front. And then at night, it's got night vision capability if you add an illuminator. And the resolution's really good, at the distances that I was looking at in my backyard. So you just clip that bad boy on, you're ready to go out at night.
So it's a separate illuminator versus the all-in-one thermal optic, and
Yeah.
it probably comes in at a lower price point than some of the higher-end thermals, because those thermals can get crazy expensive.
Yeah, I think he said he had less than 1,000 into it.
That's impressive, because like the thermal optics, you're starting, the good ones start what, 4,000 or 5,000 up to 10 plus.
I've got a really good high resolution thermal that's about $2,500.
Okay, so not too crazy, but
I think that's where you're starting.
definitely on par with some of the higher-end glass.
If you wanna reach out and touch something and you want good clarity at 400 yards, you're probably going to be over $2,000.
Makes sense to me. But this is a sweet little setup here. You got your Accutac bipod out front, and yeah, other than that, basically stock. And yeah, little pest control gun, and then
Perfect.
Again, you can swap parts, swap barrels, do whatever you need, and turn it into a competition gun. So definitely something exciting there.
In this case, just pulling the barrel out, sticking a barrel with a 1/16 twist in it, and you're shooting slugs. Minor adjustment with the reg or the hammer spring adjustment, but with a shrouded barrel, the gun's already quiet. It's quiet enough to shoot in the backyard, but with the addition of a moderator on top of it, there's no sound signature really from the gun. So,
And that's the Donnie FL.
Donnie FL Ryu. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Very cool. You just got a couple of these in, or at least one.
I did. I used it today for the first time, side by side with the Garmin, and on my first shot, they read exactly the same velocity.
So this is the new Rangecraft Doppler radar chronograph. Very similar form factor to the Garmin. If you guys want to see a video comparing these two, maybe I can borrow Jay's and go out and check it out. I know there's been a couple reviews out there already, and it looks, for the price point, looks to do just about everything the Garmin does.
Yeah.
So
I
definitely
don't have the Garmin in here.
Definitely a budget-conscious option that gives you all the features. But we can put it through its paces. Leave comments down below if you want to see a video like that. And I guess while we're here talking about Athlon, the Midas TAC Gen 2, you just got a couple of these in stock. And I was talking about this in a previous video. This is probably the go-to scope for base class NRL 22 or even production PRS rimfire matches. It comes in at about $749 MSRP, and this is the 5 to 30 actually. So the 5 to 30 is a little bit more expensive. Is it the 4 to 24 or 6 to 24? I think the 30 millimeter tube one that comes in.
If that's the previous generation, but yeah, there is one that's a little less.
Yeah, and I think those with CZ MTR or any other gun, Tika T1X. Or an air rifle, although air rifle doesn't really have price restrictions like base class does. But yeah, they've completely revamped their sort of design language here with their turrets. It's just super smooth. Throw lever included. Comes with the sunshade. So they're including a lot of the accessories that maybe didn't come in the older scopes. These are metal scope caps.
Yep, metal. And they've got a ball T10 at
nice.
180, 90, 45.
So yeah, I mean, Athlon's really been stepping it up. We'll see how tariffs and stuff. I know they're working through some of that. So, maybe get your orders in now. But really exciting stuff coming from there, and excited that they're actually going to partner with us.
Yeah.
So they like what we're doing in the space. They like what Jay's doing with Airguns. They like what I'm doing in competition, and we're going to be Athlon shooters going forward. So starting in the new 2025-2026 NRL 22 season, switching all my scopes over to Athlon, and they've got everything really. I mean, they've got pretty much every price range. They've got the high-end glass. Their Cronus line is made in Japan. The rest of the scopes are made in China, but they span pretty much anyone's budget. They've got a lot of lines of scopes. They just came out with a bunch of Gen 2 and Gen 3 versions of their scopes. Like I said, they're changing the design language of the turrets and that kind of stuff, and again, including more of those accessories. So they're really stepping it up. And I think, out of all the manufacturers that a lot of the scopes kind of come out of similar factories, right? Would you say?
Yeah. They do.
There's only a few real like OE manufacturers, and then every company gives their quality control, their specifications, they build it out, right? And I think Athlon's really got the formula figured out.
They sure do.
And for the price point, I don't think you can beat some of these scopes.
This scope's going to do real well. Yeah.
So that's the Midas TAC Gen 2. That's like their, I would say, third from the top.
Yeah, kind of mid range.
They're mid tier.
Yeah.
Third from the top, and then there's the Ares, which is one level above that, and then the Cronus is sort of their flagship model, Japanese glass made in Japan.
Yeah.
So you're going to be seeing lots of reviews on scopes from Athlon. We're going to take out the Athlon Rangecraft, and Athlon actually has a bunch of binoculars and thermals and stuff, and they do a lot of things.
They do. They've got tripods, they've got rings, one-piece bases, binoculars, spotting scopes. Pretty much everything you need.
There's a nice spotting scope that actually has a reticle built into it, and that's really great. So if you want to, spot targets, it's a variable magnification, but it's got a reticle etched into the actual spotting scope itself. So if you want to know target sizes, so you can get your wind bracket, be like, okay, the target is 0.8 of a mil wide, and my wind bracket is calling for, let's say, 0.5 mil to a mil. I know if I bracket on either side of that target, or if I hold left edge or right edge or whatever it is, I know how wide the target is, so I can kind of increase my hit probability by figuring out and ranging, and then actually seeing how big that target is in terms of mils or MOA, whatever your scope is in. And so exciting things coming. We've got the copper M4, got some Athlon scopes.
With the copper engraving?
Yeah, see, they did
Copper
that special edition for me. Yeah, got the chronograph here. So lots of fun things coming. I'm still preparing for nationals, but then it's simultaneously kind of also training up for RMAC, which is the Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge, one of the biggest airgun events in the United States. So hoping to do well there, and we'll be getting this Impact M4 up and running. Going to get my Panthera dialed in. Jay was kind enough to supply me with a bunch of new parts, basically new probe, new regulator, tungsten hammer, trying to get more power. I'm going to start pushing those Altero slugs, see if I can find an accuracy node at a higher velocity so I can kind of eliminate the drop, get a little bit of flatter projectile trajectory. So lots of good stuff coming. If you need anything, hit up Jay, airgunsandoptics.com. And yeah, we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, as always, score more points.